I started creating art as a child. My grandmother was actually the first person to buy me a sketchbook, and from there I just really took off with creating, and even went to college for fashion design when I got older. And you know, life happens, marriage, kids, all of that, and I had to take, I took a pause from creating for a little bit until recently. And about a year ago, I really started to create more as a healing modality for my mental health. And it's been a wonderful experience so far. So through a mentor of mine, I learned about the chakra system and the different components of it and how it can help you with self-awareness and growth and healing. And so when I started creating art a year ago, I incorporated that into series 1, which is series of me meditating. And the process that I would use to do that would be to hold a crystal and to just meditate for a few moments and see what came to me. And then I would create art based off of whatever I was feeling or seeing or visualizing. And that is how I started. For this series, because I had just started to create art again, I didn't have a ton of supplies. So I actually used tempera paint that my kids had around the house. And that is how I created each of the wheels of energy, each chakra, I would create with paint. And then using my skills from fashion design school and fashion illustration, I would then draw pictures of myself meditating and then join the two together to create each piece. So for series 2, Out of the Dark, I started to experiment a little bit more with just using paper. And the reason why I chose the black paper was because I wanted to really highlight the different colors of the chakra system. I was diving deeper into more of the darker shadow sides of things that I had experienced. And I also started to explore more with creating images of faces that weren't necessarily me and maybe just different aspects of myself. So some of them may look like me, some of them may not. But it was fun to kind of explore in that way. I started to create this during quarantine. And the first one that I created, the root chakra one, means a lot to me. It was a time where I was really diving into my ancestry, and that kind of set the tone for the rest of the pieces in this series. I am Puerto Rican Black and Japanese, and I tried to incorporate elements of that into the first one. And you can see in the rest, they all kind of spark feelings for me for different family members that either have passed or are still with us. Okay, so with this series, again, continuing with the theme of the chakra system, each piece represents a different color of the chakra. And you can notice I've incorporated gold into each piece. And so that is kind of my reminder that we are connected spiritually to our ancestors, to each other, to this world, and it was important that I showed that in this series. So recently, I have explored some new foods. I've been trying to eat healthier, be mindful of what I'm eating, and this has been a fun one for me. I like to consider myself a little bit of a foodie, so creating food art just was a lot of fun. So this series, called Eat Your Chakras, represents your chakra system, but now in the form of foods. And one of the ways of tapping into your chakras is by eating foods that represent the chakra colors. Okay, so this series is called 8 Ways of You. So something about myself, people like to tell me their stories. And luckily for me, my wonderful friend, Rebecca Goodman, told me the story of how special it is for them and their family to create certain Jewish foods for certain holidays. And so taking that information and a few photos that she gave me, I created these 2 custom pieces of art for her and her family. If you are interested in commissioning a piece of your own for your story, feel free to reach out to me via email or social media. I am on Facebook and Instagram at 8 Ways of Me.